Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's up, everybody? We got a Friday face-off today. Happy Friday. It's myself and Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio, and we're going to face off against each other. Sometimes we have similar ideas. Sometimes we don't. We get to argue about it. That's why it's called face-off. But we've had some fun with this. And as the listeners, we've been getting a lot of DMs and a lot of emails and stuff from our Friday face-off, maybe a little bit more controversial topics and stuff like that. We like getting in the nitty-gritty of that. So today, very controversial topic in the youth hockey world that people love to argue about. You got your old school, you got your new school. They kind of think in different ways. But let's talk about when it is appropriate to start checking. What age should we start body checking? Jeffrey. So I'm sure you've had some conversations with people about this. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I honestly don't know, because I love this topic, because when you and I were playing, it was peewees, right? And you could start rubbing, you could start bumping when you were squirts, no problem with that, but it couldn't be too hard of a bump. It was a gray area, which some refs wasn't, but the gray was a lot bigger. But peewees, so for me, that would have been I think sixth grade. I started at fifth grade because I played a year up. So I think like fifth, sixth, seventh grade is when you started checking. Now they moved it back, right, to bantams. I don't know. For me to really answer this question, I would love to know, and I don't even know if they have these stats, the injuries. What were the injuries for 10 years prior to the rule change? And what have the injuries been 10 years post the rule change, to really see? The one thing I hear a lot is, oh, it's better. Kids are a little bit more tougher. Kids are a little bit more resilient. Kids are stronger, whatever. The negative I hear for having it be later is, well, now they're stronger, they're faster, and they've never had to protect themselves. They've never had to feel protect, be smart going into a corner with the angle they're taking, not just go in face first into the boards and somebody murders them from behind. That makes a lot of sense to me, is if you were checking at the younger ages, they'd probably be way more comfortable with it. But honestly, like with this one, dude, I don't think I can take a side. I think I got to be embarrassing here and be Switzerland. I'm going to listen to what you say. I'm going to let you put yourself on a side, and then maybe I'll join your face or I'll face off your face.
That is not the point of Friday Face Off. We're not Switzerland on Fridays, Jeffrey.
I know. Well, what do you got? I don't know, man. It's a tough one.
Okay. It is a tough one because, and I know there's a lot of people that have done some research on it. And so I actually brought up an article that I'm going to source it because, again, you got to source these things.
Bibliography. Yes.
Bibliography. So this is sports medicine or orthopedics. But actually they did a study on the peewee level body checking, how it went from like peewee to bantam. Right. And so USA Hockey raised the minimum age for body checking from peewees to bantams in 2011. So it's been 14 years since it happened. And they actually did, whoever this is, they did a study, and it was in the Orthopedic Journal of Sports Medicine, how effective that policy would be. And so I'm just going to read it because it'd be better to do that than to kind of summarize it. The researchers studied injury data from the National Electronic Injury Surveillance System that was collected from these two levels between January 1, 2008 and December 31, 2010, and between January 1, 2013 and December 31, 2015. The diagnosis analyzed included concussions, fractures, lacerations, strains or sprains, and internal organ injuries. All injuries were broken down into two categories: body checking and other. And then it says, According to the data, overall injuries decreased by 16.6% among Pee Wee players during the 2 seasons, and those injuries caused by body checking decreased 38.2%. However, when they looked at the distribution of the location of the different types of injuries, concussions actually increased by 50% at the Pee Wee level. At the Bantam age level, injuries had decreased by 6.8%, and there was a change in the distribution of the location of the different types of injuries, which was minimal. So the researchers wrote there were significant decreases in specific injuries such as fractures, strains, sprains, and internal organ injuries. However, there was an increase in the incidence of concussions that may be attributed to the increased monitoring and awareness for traumatic brain injuries. This study provides objective data that can inform further preventative strategies and policy changes to reduce the risk of injuries in youth.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
Hockey players. So basically, when they moved it from Pee Wee to Bantam, what it sounds like is overall injuries went down, but the rate of concussions actually increased.
But I think something else they said in there, and also knowing about those years, because I got my back concussion in 2008, and like still people with concussions even then were kind of like, you look fine.
Well, reporting of it, there's more reporting of it.
Right. And so what was the second year's 2014 or 2013, you said?
2013 to 15.
So in those 5 years, like at least at the pro level and the college level, there was a massive difference in how people approach concussion awareness.
Yeah, and they would report it instead of just keeping it.
And there was a huge push to like talk about concussions and not let your players play. If you saw them get hit in the head, you had to take them out as a coach. Like I remember having to do that when I was coaching in the summers. So I think that would be my only thing when anytime you look at like studies and data. We know this from Voldemort 19 if you actually looked into it. It's pretty easy to lie with stats, and so that would be my only caveat is like, well, they were looking for more concussions there. But interesting, like I would rather a broken arm than a concussion from if it was my child and I had to choose. You know, are they getting cut and have to get stitches? Okay, I'd way rather a cut than a brain injury. So
yeah, for sure. And I think like I'm not going to put words in USA Hockey's mouth at all, but I think that if you ask most of them, they would say the more contact, the younger, the better now.
Yeah. Okay.
Because again, there's studies like obviously like it's different because especially when you get to Pee-wees and Bantams, you know, some kids mature, you know, they go through puberty and there's a big discrepancy, but like so they've kind of gone away from calling it body checking at the younger ages, and they talk a lot about body contact. You have to have body contact, and you have to start teaching kids about checking, not necessarily like full on checking, but body contact at mites, at squirts, you know, so they're ready for it and they know how to protect themselves, and they're put in situations where there is contact when they do get to the ages when it's quote unquote legal to check.
Yeah.
So like, even though there's not actual checking going on, like you still need to be allowing your players to be physical, and teaching angling and finishing through hands and playing with your freaking head up. Most of the injuries that happen from a concussion standpoint and from a hit standpoint, obviously, there's going to be elbows and hit from behinds and stuff like that. But a majority of them, I shouldn't say a majority of them, but because I don't have the data to back this up, but like I would imagine anecdotally, most of the injuries, particularly head injuries, happen when they don't see it coming.
Yeah.
The person getting hit doesn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Whether it's a clean hit or it's not a clean hit doesn't necessarily matter if they don't see it coming.
Right.
Right. So that's why it's so important that even at the youngest of ages, we are teaching body contact, and we are putting kids in situations in practice where that's going to happen. And we're really teaching our kids through that to have their head up all the time when they're playing hockey. That the best way to prevent injuries, especially head injuries, is to play with your head up.
100%. I got to tell a really quick story because I know he's listening, because he listens to every podcast. He's been a guest on the podcast, Sean Muncy. He's been on twice, hasn't he?
He's been on twice. And we got some more stuff up our sleeve with Muntz.
Dude, but Muntz, one of our first games in Pee Wee's, all right, he moved to a different organization. He's playing for Chesterfield. I'm playing for Creve Coeur here in St. Louis. And he absolutely murders the toughest guy on my team from behind. Muntz was in 6th grade. This guy was in 8th grade. And I mean, blasts this guy from behind. I think it was our first game checking, Muncy and I, playing against each other. He got kicked out of the game. This guy, the rest of the season, I think the next like few years, like we were all terrified he was going to kill Muncy. Like, I mean, like Muntz literally full speed blasted this kid from behind into the boards because we didn't know how to check. We hadn't been taught it yet or anything. Whenever I think about young kids checking, I always bring it up. Muntz and I still laugh about it to this day. Peter Hurley always laugh about it. Just so funny. But yeah, earlier you can get them bumping, rubbing is racing. You got them, get them to do that so they know how to play with their head up. They know about spatial awareness. They're not putting themselves in dangerous areas thinking they're safe when they're not.
Yeah.
You know?
I also agree. With 10 seconds left here, like, talk to kids, coaches about why you check. You check to get the puck from the other player. Yeah. Like when we were growing up, I thought check, like for the first 5 years we were checking, it's you check to like hurt the other guy.
That's what I was doing.
Blow somebody up, you know?
Yeah.
So teach them why. You're checking and you're having body contact to separate that person from the puck so you can play on offense and turn it over. So, all right, good stuff, Vechs. Great Friday face-off.
Be a bro. Share the show.
Share the show.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.